Am I the asshole for judging my girlfriend for getting her nails done? Me, 21 male, and my girlfriend, 23 female, live together and split rent. It's our 4th month living together, and in December, my girlfriend told me she couldn't afford to spend half her rent because she works under the table and took time off to be with me on a family trip. I paid for all of the rent for 1 month, then I noticed my girlfriend going on spending sprees and paying for $500 lip injections. Also, multiple trips to the spa and nail salon. 2 days ago, my girlfriend came home from the nail salon and I ignored her and didn't ask to see her nails or toes like normal. The next day, she texted me and told me that she felt like I was judging her for getting her nails done, and I told her I wasn't gonna lie and that I was judging her. All that money could have went towards the rent. I said I was judging her for getting her nails done and trips to the spa, and all the money she has been spending could have easily gone towards the rent. I'm 1 year away from my bachelor's and I've managed to pay for the degree all myself using my own money. Last month was the first month I've ever had to put school money on a credit card because I needed the money for the rent. Now that I spent that money on rent, I have to put grocery bills and power bills and other bills on my credit card for the first time. I told this to my girlfriend and she told me that I'm an asshole for judging her for doing something that makes her feel happy. And that I should feel good knowing that I'm with a woman who wants to look good for me. She also said that we've split our finances and that I have no right to judge her for what she wants to spend money on.
My male, nearly adult, older brother, 26, passed away 3 weeks ago. It was devastating for the entire family, though he was low contact with us for disagreements. His girlfriend was devastated the most. She didn't eat or take a shower for an entire week. My parents took her in last week because she could no longer afford the rent for the apartment she shared with my brother. Here's the situation. I think this took place a month ago. Brother confided in me his problems with his girlfriend and said he planned to break up with her next month. I thought that was too much for his girlfriend since she'd always been the one to try to work things out, but my brother had issues with their relationship. Seeing his girlfriend depressed to the point of losing weight and hearing her break down crying multiple times a day, I decided to sit down and tell her what my brother was planning on doing. I didn't just dish it out on her, I just told her what he told me, but she reacted in a very negative way. She had a breakdown, crying and screaming at me. My parents came rushing asking what was happening, and I told them after my brother's girlfriend rushed upstairs. My parents scolded me, saying I should never have said this to her, seeing how bereaved and struggling she was. I explained that I felt bad for her and didn't think it fair for me to hide this important truth from her. They told me I had no right and this was not good timing, and also said that I just made it worse and tainted my brother's memory for her and confused her even more. I got punished harshly, but my friends agreed I did the right thing since my brother's girlfriend situation is just tragic and she needed this piece of info, and I was right and considerate to give it to her. I really think I just let her know this because I felt guilty for hiding the truth from her, but I might be the idiot for what I did.
Storytime about how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. We've been together for 5 years, and I never knew that he had a child. His son is now 7 years old. A little backstory. When my boyfriend and I started dating, everything was great. He was the perfect boyfriend. He would drop anything to help me. He paid for everything, was super considerate, fun, and loving. But everything started to change last year when we moved in together. He told me that his job was starting to give him night shifts. Essentially, we never saw each other during the day or spent any time together. He also started telling me that he was too tired to go out on dates. I'm a paralegal and my office is really close to our apartment. So during my lunch break, I would go home to eat. One time that I came home, I caught him talking on the phone in the bathroom. I could only hear that he was whispering and it sent chills up my spine. When he came out of the bathroom, he was shocked to see me. I asked him who he was talking to and he acted dumb. He said he was just ordering a pizza. He was actually supposed to be sleeping because he worked the night shift. I knew something was wrong. I decided to follow him that night to work, and guess what? He didn't go to work. He went to another woman's house. Part 2 of how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. I followed him that night to what I thought was his job, but instead he drove 10 minutes away from our apartment to another woman's house. I parked a few cars away so I could see what he was doing. That's when a little boy and a woman come running out of the house. The woman kisses him on the mouth and he carries the little boy and hugs him. Believe it or not, I instantly got sick. I got out through the passenger door and vomited. I was horrified. My first thought was that he was married and I was the other woman. They walked into the house and I stayed waiting for him the entire night. He left that house at 6 in the morning the next day. But before he could get into his car, I confronted him. He was obviously shocked to see me there. He confessed that was his son, that he wasn't married to the woman. They were only together. So I was right. I was the other woman. He explained that he wasn't in love with the other woman and that he didn't have the heart to tell her he was in love with someone else. He got on his knees and apologized. Part 3 of how my boyfriend has a secret child with another woman. He got on his knees and begged me for forgiveness, but I had already made my mind up. I told him he needed to move out by the end of the day. I got in my car and slept for about 18 hours. When I woke up, all of his stuff stuff was still there. He was in the kitchen making me breakfast. I gave him a chance and I let him talk. He explained that he and the girl had a very toxic relationship and that I was the first woman he'd ever met that he truly loved. But I just couldn't get over the fact that he was lying to me every single day for 5 years. Instead of going to work, he was going to her house. I told him that I saw him kissing her and he said that that's just how they greet each other. He swears that they don't have anything going on between them. It's been about a week and he's still living with me. I basically gave him a second chance, but my instinct is telling me something's wrong. I met his son a few nights ago and we got along really well. He's a really cute boy and he loves his dad a lot, and I could see how much my boyfriend loves him too. I don't want to break my own heart, but I feel like I can't trust him anymore. He swears he'll never lie to me again. I have this constant stomachache now, but I still love him. Should I stay with him or not?
I'm a hobbyist baker, but my full-time job is engineering consulting. There's more money on the engineering side. When I want to pick up extra work hours, I'm going to do engineering work. But I genuinely like making cakes for friends or events as a surprise. But I don't always. Sometimes I'm just too busy to make one. So it's just something I do if I happen to have a free day before a get-together. I like making them as surprises because if I screw them up, there's no pressure to bring something. But as of recently, many people have asked me if I can make cakes for different events. And I started just saying no because I didn't have the time. Plus, I don't know if I could do designs other people can do justice. I really just make whatever I'm feeling and kind of wing it. But people got so annoyed by saying stuff like, "But you made a cake for other person," or "I'm not asking for anything hard." So I started saying that I'm making cakes for commission for special requests and that I can send them my pricing structure if they're still interested. My pricing structure is really structured about what it would cost to make it worth it to me to spend a day making a cake instead of spending it on my main job. So my rates are: customer pays the cost of ingredients, a base hourly rate of $150, minimum 3 hours. If the deadline is under 48 hours, my hourly rate is $250. So, after I set my commission rates, most people will be like, never mind when I mention a commission at all, but even if I get into prices, with only 2 exceptions. My Aunt Jess, who I'm not really close to, came up to me at Christmas and asked me if I could make a cake for her friend's party. I said I'm only doing commission work right now, but I could send my pricing breakdown. She said sure, then she got really rude, saying that my cakes were nowhere near that good to charge that much, and that she could get better at the bakery. I said that she should go to the bakery, then they would have something nice. She got frustrated with me and said she didn't want a chain store-bought cake, and I said there were some non-chain bakeries in the nearby city. She said I was missing the point, that my prices were absurd and nobody would pay that. I said that was okay. I had enough business through my main job. Next, my cousin asked me if I could make a cake for her kid's birthday party, and I said I'm only taking commissions. She said that my prices were horrible for a kid's party. I said that kids would like a grocery store cake just as much. I was sure the party would be great, whatever cake she got. She said she didn't want a grocery one, she wanted one of my custom designs. I said that that seemed like overkill for a kid's party. She said that nothing but the price was overkill, and I was taking advantage. Am I the idiot for selling my cakes for so much? My 29 female grandfather, my mom's dad, passed away recently. After he died, my grandmother decided to move into a senior community. She was moving from a house to a one-bedroom flat, so there were lots of items she didn't need. The house was pretty full and lived in because she and my grandfather were there for 50 years. When we were going through the attic, we found boxes and boxes of old pictures. My grandmother wanted to go through them. In some, there were pictures of my mom when she was little, and there was a baby in them or a kid younger than her. I asked her who it was because she doesn't have a sister, and she doesn't have any aunts and uncles, so no cousins either. My dad said my mom had a younger sister, but she died, and to not say anything to my grandmother because it would upset her to talk, especially so close after my grandfather's death. At the time, what my parents told me made sense. After that, I helped move the furniture to her new flat, or sort what she wasn't keeping. I honestly forgot about the pictures. I found one photo of my dad with a woman in a bridal gown the next month. It wasn't my mom, and I couldn't figure out why my mom's parents would have a photograph of my dad at a wedding not to their daughter. My mom was there when I found it, and she couldn't explain it then. The next day, my grandmother told me the truth when I confronted her. My mom had a sister. She was married to my dad. My dad played away with my mom, his wife's sister, and I was born from the affair. My dad divorced my mom's sister to be with my mom. My mom's sister went away somewhere else because my grandmother and grandfather wouldn't condemn the divorce, and they've been estranged and not in contact now for almost 30 years. My dad's parents also knew everything and didn't tell me. My mom and dad never bothered to get married after his eventual divorce from my mom's sister. I'm angry that the only family members I have, my parents and both sets of grandparents, have kept this from me. I'd never have known if I didn't accidentally see those pictures. My grandmother had thought they'd gotten rid of all the photographs of my mom's sister. My parents and my other grandparents have admitted this too and told me the same thing as my grandmother. My parents tell me it's none of my concern since this happened before I was born and didn't affect me. I disagree that such a big secret should have been kept from me. Plus, I disapprove of anyone involved in this behavior. Do you believe I'm right to be angry, or are my parents and grandparents correct, and I'm in error?
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe to see more great videos. See you again.